Oh, and I think we are live. That's interesting. It worked for the first time today. Usually it never works the first time around, so I was not even paying attention. Welcome everyone. Welcome Tish. Welcome Laurie. Hi Pisas, Caroline. Welcome everyone that I've already seen in the chat. Why are we talking about a walrus? What did I miss? And a raccoon. Hi Sandrine, welcome. And Catherine, welcome. So we've got 3 minutes before to officially get started. So if any of you were watching this on replay, if you wanted to skip the hellos, you've got 3 minutes to skip. And Charity is here. Welcome, Charity. Hi, Pauline. Welcome. And William, welcome. Welcome to Mayfair. And Nathalie, welcome. Welcome, Agatha. Welcome, everyone, to this late Monopoly. So we've got 3 minutes before to start. You had gone down the rabbit hole. Well, we're going down the rabbit hole on Wednesday. We'll go and see Lewis Coral resting place. Florida, welcome. Another animal. Yeah, we've got quite a few animals tonight. Bears, foxes, squirrels. Hi Mike, welcome. Nice seeing you here. And welcome Pamela. So for the ones that have just arrived and are wondering why we're talking about animals, I was just saying in the chat that I've made a new a foxy friend. I called him Majesty. He lives in Clarence's house and he comes out. There's a little piece of green in front of Lancaster House. It's very smart because humans are not allowed. If you stepped in there, the Ministry of Defense police would get to you. And so he steps right there and he comes and say hello, and he's probably starving because usually they don't really come out at daytime if they're and he's a little cub. He's so cute. So I saw him yesterday and he came back today, so we gave him some food. It could be, who knows, it could be the Queen Mother in a second life, or a fifth life, or a 20th life. Yes. Hi Kurt, nice seeing you here. So we've got 1 minute to go. It could be my spirit. Yes, I suspect I might have. I suspect I used to be a fox in a past life. Yes. Hi Tammy, nice seeing you here. And Linda, welcome. Kurt, you can recognize the doorstep. Yes, I am indeed. Hi William, welcome. Hi Jessica. And it's officially time to start. Welcome guys, welcome to Mayfair. We are live from Mayfair. It is Sunday the 6th of August and it is 10 p.m. UK time. And let's go. So if you happen to be completely new to me, welcome to those Monopoly tours. So we'll basically walk around Mayfair. I'll give you snippets of local history and we'll take a look at property prices. So let's go. Without further ado. So yeah, I'm right in front of Claridge's. So one of the very prestigious hotels in the area. You can probably tell already from the cars. We've got some lovely cars parked around here. So Mayfair is the playground to the super rich anyway. Today there's a lot of super rich from Qatar or the Middle East in general. And so Claridge's, it's an amazing hotel. They had a royal patronage in 1860 from Queen Victoria herself. And guess what? I already have a property for you right across the street there in that brick building. It is. So tonight, most of the properties I'll show you, they are actually for sales. I've got one rental, so I'll let you know ahead. So this one is a one bedroom flat in this building right here. How much would you pay? Let me show you the photos. Oh, it's a bit too bright. Let me show you like this. So lovely one bedroom right in front of Claridge's in the heart of Mayfair. So that's for sale. How much would you pay? Oh, you got me a coffee, chai tea. Thank you very much. If anyone else leaves me a tip, I don't necessarily see them live unless you do it on YouTube, but do make sure that that's very much appreciated. 4.5 millions, 4.2 millions, 4.8 says, you know what, Caroline, you very, very close, very, very close. 2 million says Michelle, you're very close as well. Mike says 4.5. Some of you went a bit too high. It's just a one bedroom. Although I think it's already sold because I couldn't find it anymore on the website today. Let me show you the answer. Ta-da! So 1.9 million. So, oh, William, you're quite close as well. So yeah, well done, guys. Some of you were very, very, very close. So 1.9. Is there a window in the bathroom? Let me see. Yes, there is. Yeah, look, the bathroom is there. So you've got a window in the bathroom. So you're all good. If you want to open the window after taking a poo, you're safe. If that's a criteria for you in the flats you want to buy, you're safe. Yeah, Nathalie, spot on. And so we'll go a bit further down. So we're now on Brooks Mews. Brooks after the river. We used to have the we have some lost rivers in London, and the River Tyburn used to come around here. And I didn't even tell you. So Claridge's, we've got there's a few interesting stories about the hotel itself. Through the Second World War, it was there were a lot of exiled royals or politicians. For example, it is said, I have to say there's no evidence of any of that, but it is said that the king of Yugoslavia, Peter II, with his pregnant wife, they stayed at the hotel, and the wife was about to give birth. So they wanted the son to be born in Yugoslavia, and apparently they said that Winston Churchill decided that bedroom 212 was becoming Yugoslavia for the day. You'd think if it was indeed 100% true, there'll be some records of it. Some say that they even brought some soil from Yugoslavia and put it under the bed, so the little prince could be born in Yugoslavia. So that letterbox, it's not that old, because you might have seen E2R, Elizabeth, Secunda, Regina. So it's not a very old letterbox. It's from the time of Queen Elizabeth II. And at Claridge's, there's another story that's a little bit sad. Through the Second World War, there was a politician from Poland. He had a meeting in there with the, what is it called, the OSS organization. It's the forerunner of the CIA, the Organization of Strategic Services, I think it is. And he had already explained to the Allies that they should bomb the train lines that went from Germany to Poland to stop the Jewish Holocaust, because then it would have been mission impossible for them to bring those Jewish kids and families to the concentration camps. And very sadly, he had Claridge's. He had a meeting with the responsible from the OSS, and they told him that sadly the Allies could not spare any aircraft to bomb those train lines. And the next day, he committed suicide. Accusing the Allies of not wanted to stop the Holocaust, basically. Anyway, on a lighter note, I think we are there. Yes, lovely. Let me cross over so you get a good view at the building. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. So we've got 2 flats in that building here. Hi, Anjay, welcome, and welcome everyone that just joined. So we've got 2 flats in this one, 1 4-bedroom and 1 3-bedroom. Let's start with the the 4-bedroom. Why not? I'll show you the inside. It's not looking great at the moment. So that's the 4-bedroom. How much would you pay for that? So 4-bedroom. 10 million, says Nathalie. Ooh, Mike, you're very close, Mike. You're very, very close. Michelle, you're not too far either. A fireplace, take it. Yeah. Ooh, William, you guys are good at this. Down a bit more, a bit more. All right, let me show you the answer. 7 millions. There's quite a high service charge as well. We'll see with the next one. So you have to pay every year for the concierge and all that. Let me show you the other one. So the other one is 3-bedroom. It looks much nicer inside. And the service charge, it is 17,000, well, almost 18,000 a year. How much could I borrow? I've not tried to click on the link, but I don't want to know. That would be terrible news. I don't want to know how much I could borrow. So this one is, how many bedrooms? 3 bedrooms. How much would you pay for this one? 3 bedrooms. Yeah, Mayfair is one of the most expensive areas across the globe, really. 575, says Diane. Genevieve, you're quite close, you're quite close. 6 million, says Stami. Nikki says 5.6. Amanda says 575. Jane is 6. Sandrine 6. Well, you guys are getting really good at this. Let me show you the answer. Ta-da! 6.9. So it's not far, it's not very far from the other one, but the other one has a lot of work to do inside. So $200. Well, I don't think you'd get much. Oh, actually, I'll show you a house quite soon that you might you might find a little bit more affordable. Let's go down. So we are on Davis Street. I think it's named after Mary Davis. She married one of the Duke of Westminster somewhere along the line. Unless it's another Davis, I don't know, but probably that family. Anyway, let me show you one little house that I might be able to afford. Well, I probably not actually, because if they put it on eBay, it probably would sell for thousands. There it is. Ta-da! So this is number 5, Davis Street. That's quite a cool one. Basically, the wine shop is number 6 to number 3 to 7. So there was none. What am I saying? 4 to 6. Ooh, dumb. I was like, what's before 4? What's before 5? What's after 5? So number 4 to 6. So there was no. Oh no, that was right, 3 to 7, because obviously it's the other side of the road. So basically there's no number 5. So they created a number 5 here. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what it would sell for if you put it on eBay. But I think even that one is probably unaffordable. Yeah, I don't have a price. It's not for sale, sadly. And even the little, you got the little street sign. It's quite cool. Anyway, let me stand up again. So that's quite a cool wine shop here. And let's go down this way to see the fontaine. There's a quite cool fontaine, and just because the buildings are lovely. So Mayfair, the area, it's actually named after the Mayfair. That was a fair that would happen in May for about 15 days. From the very late 1600, I think it's 1698 actually, until the mid wife selling. You know, we might have spoken about wife selling when we did the tour in Smithfield. Well, that would happen here at the Mayfair as well, because when people sold their wives, they wanted a large audience, so you had a large audience at the Mayfair. There also was some woman foot racing, because you might wonder today we don't really get very exciting when we see ladies running. Ladies used to wear was not very adequate. Winner, they might win a run, how there's a petticoat and all that. So I don't know, but up not. It's just it was just a bit exciting. And they were also doing. Oh, did I lose you for a sec? Oh, I wondered if I had lost you because the chat was. What was I saying when I lost you? Did you hear about the woman foot racing? Okay, so I was saying that at the Mayfair there were some interesting activity like women foot racing, and that was yes, you've heard this right, foot racing for ladies, and that was really exciting. You know, today we wouldn't really care about ladies running. They had some prizes for the winner, like a nice petticoat or a pound of tea, but you'd have to remember that at the time. You know, the outfit of those ladies were not really adequate for running, so they'll have to kind of strip down a little bit to run. So that was very titillating, you know. And I imagined that they might have been barefoot, but no, I didn't find that information, so I guess they were not. But just those ladies without all those, you know, those long dresses and heavy materials, that was probably very exciting for the men at the time. And so this is the Corner Hotel. I just came here because I wanted to show you they have a lovely fontaine. It's quite beautiful at night. The fontaine turns on every so often, but I've never been able to understand at what time exactly. You could only imagine racing with those dresses. Well, yeah, that's why I think they were taking those dresses off. So that's probably why it was so exciting. Because if they were wearing anything else, you know, that was so titillating. The fontaine was on when I was here at 8:40. So let me show you what it looks like when it goes on. I did a little video especially to show you. So that's what happens when it goes on. Oops, not this one. So that's quite cool. I don't know what time. I've only seen it on a few times. I don't know if there's a special. Oh, wow! Amazing, perfect timing, guys. I've only seen it on like twice in my life, and today is the third time today. Perfect timing. I did not expect it. I wonder if someone's pressed the button. Someone might have seen me and pressed the button or something. Yeah, Diane, I'm in Mayfair. I'm in front of the Corner Hotel. I think the concierge has a button. He must have pressed the button. Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, it's beautiful, especially at night. Right, and so yeah, we were talking about the Mayfair. So you had wife selling, you had ladies foot racing, you had puppets executions. Yes, you've heard this right, puppets executions. Especially when it was the end of the show, or they were asked to move on or go to a different location or anything, they would literally behead a puppet. And that was crazy. I mean, people would be laughing their heads off. Well, actually, you know what? The expression "laughing your head off" comes from. We believe it comes from Simon Fraser. He was the last public beheading at the Tower, And when he was executed, Fraser had, well, there was a scaffold that had been built for the audience. And that scaffold collapsed. A lot of people died. And Simon found it very amusing. He was laughing, and apparently when they chopped his head off, he was still laughing his head off. So apparently that's where the expression comes from. And when they did those puppet shows, they probably were trying to recreate that. So, you know, you would have kids and everything laughing their heads off at a puppet being beheaded. And whoever grabbed the head, they were winning. So it was like a game. And eventually they had to close the Mayfair. I think it's 1764 that they closed it because it was becoming a bit too much debauchery, you know. It's always the same thing. Well, at the time with those parties like the Vauxhall Gardens, all those parties, eventually it became a bit too much and they closed it. So that's what happened to the Mayfair. It was mainly by the Shepherd's Market. That's where we're heading to in a little while. So yeah, they were. That was a fun time of the year. It did not actually start here in Mayfair. It started in Haymarket. Why? What did I miss? I think I've missed something in the chat. Why the puppet? They found it fun at the time, you know. Yeah. Oh, I think I've missed something in the chat. Apologies, I'm not too sure what we're talking about. And anyway, so we're now on the famous Berkeley Square. On the other side, straight ahead, you might see a bit, there's a car dealer. Behind it, that's where Queen Elizabeth II was born, at grandparents' or maternal grandparents' place. They were the Earl of Strathmore. And that building there to my right, that's where they had we were talking earlier about the OSS, the forerunner to the CIA. They had some offices in there at some point. And we're heading towards the most haunted house in London. And to show you that I'm not the only one that does giant monopolies in my head. Oh, there's a letterbox. Let's see. E2R, not that old. And so yeah, clearly I'm not the only one that does giant monopoly in my head. Look at that. That's a Google review for the most haunted house in London. And it says, I've just bought Mayfair on the monopoly, so I own this place. I demand 250 quid rent every month. And what I find very funny is that 24 people voted helpful on Google. I mean, it's fun. Is it helpful? I'm not too sure. But just so you see, I'm not the only one that does giant monopoly. And Mayfair is quite a large area. Most of the locations on the Monopoly board, they are actually streets, but Mayfair, it's quite a large area. Actually, if I went down to the right there, I'll end up on Park Lane, which is also on the Monopoly board. And if I went towards the left there, I'll end up on Bond Street, which is also on the Monopoly board. Although Bond Street doesn't exist, it's New Bond Street or Old Bond Street. But yeah. Anyway, let me show you the spot of the Claremont. So that was, the Claremont Club was, well, a casino, we would say today, one of those private clubs where they came and play with, they used to gamble. I'm gonna cross over the street so you get a better view, bear with me. And the Claremont, that's where, one night in 1974, Lord Lucan was meant to come for dinner. He never came. I'll tell you a bit more about the disappearance of Lord Lucan in a little while, because otherwise I've got too many things to tell you on the square, so I'll tell you in a little while. And that was also the site of Annabelle, the nightclub, famous nightclub, but it's moved down a couple of houses down. So this is Annabelle now. Annabelle, for the ones that don't know, very, very fancy club. And they often have the best decorations, like Christmas decorations, Halloween decorations. Let me show you. I should have, where are they? There we go. It's always very, very impressive. So you've got this type of amazing deco. Halloween, I guess. Haha. And it's very selective in terms of dress code and everything. And there's one more. Apparently one night when Prince Andrew was having his bachelor party, there were two ladies, well, they were a group of four, but two ladies that came in dressed up as police officers. And you don't come in here dressed up, you know. Today they've kind of changed the dress code. You can, for men, you can have trainers if they do not look like they've been used to do any sport. So those two girls, they got turned on. Well, would you believe that was Lady Diana and Sarah Ferguson? So obviously they were ever so sorry, but yeah, the dress code is the dress code, you know. They did not recognize them. And anyway, here we go. We are arriving at the most haunted place in London. So that is 50 Berkeley Square. We've not had many sightings of anything since the 1930s. So I have to say, although all those ghost stories have been published in newspapers or anything, you'd have to remember that in Victorian times, most people believed in ghosts. So it's the building straight ahead with the blue plaque, and you know, those Victorians, most people believed in ghosts. So if you were a journalist, it was quite a good business to investigate those ghost stories, or you're hiring a medium and stuff like that. That was, you know, compared to today when people are much more skeptical. It's I'm never going to be able to cross. There we go. It was a different time. You know, they had just invented the telephone. If you could speak to somebody in Newcastle, why not connected with the dead, you know? So anyway, that's the building here. As you can see, there was a prime minister that used to live here, George Canning. I don't know if you can read actually, but yeah. Churchill lived here as well. He was born on Charles Street, just there. And, well, he's lived at many locations, Churchill. And what we do know is that at the time of the Prime Minister, they were already, what is the building now, Martina is asking? It's been, so it was a bookshop until a few years ago, maybe 2002. And now it's back to being a private property. 16 millions it sold for, and yeah, now it's we don't really know who lives inside, but it's private. I don't know if they knew about all its history. So yeah, what we know for sure is that the Prime Minister George Canning used to live there, and at that time there were already rumors of ghosts. They said, there's no evidence of that, but they said that there was a young girl that jumped off the window very sadly because she had been abused by her, I'm never going to be able to cross again, yeah, let's do this, by her uncle. Again, that's not sure. What bookshop Tish is asking? Max Bros, sorry. It's a bookshop, but they were very posh stuff, like manuscript and stuff like that as well. And you know what? When they sold the I think she was a lady, the boss of Max Bros. She said that she did not experience anything at all in the building, but apparently some of the staff disagreed. There were a couple of staff that said, that's not true, this and that happened. So yeah. Anyway, so what we do know is that the Prime Minister lives there. After that, there was a lady that died of old age, and she never complained about anything. And after that, a gentleman called Thomas Meyer moved in. And it is said that Thomas had Well, he was basically stood up just before his marriage. He had a fiancée. He had made the house look lovely for her. He had bought a lot of chinaware and carpets, and basically just before the wedding, she turned him down. Then Thomas kind of lost his sanity. He slept at daytime, and he shortest serving prime minister until Liz Truss. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you, Kurt. And so yeah, he slept at he slept at daytime, and at night he was walking around the building with his candle or his lantern, and people on the streets obviously found it very weird, and apparently they could hear some weird noises, and the house was getting run down and looking very bad for Mayfair. That might ring a bell, someone being stood up just before their wedding, living in a large mansion and letting it go completely run down and looking horrible and dusty and that might remember Miss Havisham, of course, from Great Expectations. Some say that Dickens might have got inspired by Thomas Meyer for Miss Havisham, the character. It would have had to be very quick though, because Thomas moved in 1859, and Great Expectations, I think it's 1860 that it was published in different chapters every so often until 1861. So, I don't know how bad can a house look after a year. So it might just be well, he might have been inspired, but not probably not that much. Or he's probably a very quick thinker. Anyway, so under the time of Thomas, everyone believed that house was haunted because they would walk past at night and see this little light and hear those funny noises. But actually, it's probably just because Thomas had completely lost his sanity, and he was going inside and becoming what they would have called mad at the time. When Thomas Meyer died, he gave the house to his sister, but he wanted her to move in, but she didn't. So she just let the lease run out, and it became empty for a while. And then, because it had such a bad reputation, people at the pub were talking about it, and they were like, oh, if you've got balls, you go and sleep in there, So quite a few people have tried. There was a young man that was at the pub, and he was like, yeah, a bet. And he went and sleep in there. Apparently, at the time, the new owner was there, and they let him go, but they were like, okay, you go, you sleep up there, because it was meant to be the upper floor, but I'll give you a gun. And apparently the young man was he was up there with his gun. He shot his gun, and we don't know what happened, but then they found him like this. We don't know what if he was dead. Just so you know, there's many different versions of the stories, and there's so many stories, it's hard to keep up. Then after that, there was so there's a family that moved in, and the young girl, she had a fiancé, but the fiancé couldn't sleep with her, of course, because they were only fiancé, and they asked the servant to go upstairs to get the room ready for that fiancé. The servant went up, and they suddenly heard her scream and scream and scream. So they ran upstairs. She was petrified in a corner like this. And she was saying, don't let it touch me. 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 She was taken to an asylum, and she died the next day. Now, all those stories were told in the press at the time. They said that a nobleman had the same fate, and then a bit later, in 1887, two sailors they were out of a ship, the Penelope ship in Southampton. They came up to London for a night out, and apparently they spend all their money in drinks. So they didn't know where to sleep, so they decided to squat in that empty house. So they broke in, they put themselves to bed upstairs. When they got woken up by a noise on a big shape, like a big brown mass coming towards them, one of the sailors managed to escape, and he ran down the street to fetch a police officer. And when he came back with the police officer, one of the other sailor he was found dead, impaled on the railing. So he had jumped from the window. Now, that story is very precise with names and everything. I tend to be a bit skeptical with that one, because when you're squatting in a building, do you really run to fetch a police officer? You know, I don't know. And there have been quite a few of those stories. There's actually a few more, but we probably don't have time for all of them. Is that true? Is that the most haunted house in London? We don't know. There's probably quite a few stories that got mixed up, and you'd have to remember that at the time the press loved those ghost stories. According to the bookshop, there have not been any sightings ever since, and we've not heard much about any sightings in the house for many decades now. So maybe not that bad. Anyway, let me show you here a lovely hairdresser. This is the hairdresser of the court. It's called GF Trumper, and this is really where you come if you are from high society. Some of our kings and well, actually, you've got a few portraits of their customers up there. So you might see Vicky, you might see Eddie. Then I can see George VI, Edward VIII. I think I can see Queen Elizabeth II up there as well. So that's where you come and get a shave if you are from very, very high society. Also, their famous cologne, says Kurt. I've not tried their cologne. It's very cute inside. You've got all those little cabinets. Anyway, I've got two properties for you here. The first one, can you see the white building right in the middle of the screen now? The one with a balcony at the top. Let me check. I think it's 2 bedrooms. Let me check before I say anything wrong. So it is to buy as well, that's for sure. Where are we? There we go. Oh, 3 bedrooms to buy. Let me show you the inside. So you got a little bit of a balcony area at the back. If you have a balcony you want it. Well, I think there's 2 actually. There's a balcony at the front and a terrace at the back. A little rooftop. So how much would you pay for this one? 3 bedrooms. Yes, the white one, the one with the balcony straight there in the middle, not the tall one, the one in the middle. 6 million, 6.3, it's a little bit less, guys, a little bit less. 8 millions, too modern for you, Nathalie. 1 million, 8 million, says Michelle, 8.5. Well, I'll tell you, it's not that much. It's actually 4.9 millions. So it's, oh, Jenny, perfect. Yeah, you're quite spot on, Jenny. So, and next to it, there's one that's actually very cheap. Very, very cheap for Mayfair. I don't know what's wrong with the flat. I wanted to double check the lease because, you know, when you buy in Westminster, you know, you have a lease usually, especially in Mayfair. Most of the land actually belongs to the Grosvenor family. So this one, I find it very cheap. It is 2 bedroom. Let me show you. So 2 bedroom. How much would you pay for this one? And it's very affordable for Mayfair, very affordable. So that's the one just in the middle, the big building. Sorry, it's a bit dark, but It's not haunted as far as I know, but we never know. Ghost could be anywhere. 3.5, 3 million, 2 million, Michelle. You're very close, Michelle. Oh, Laurie, you're even closer. I think you've won that one, Laurie. I'll show you. Oh, Kurt, you're not too far either. 1.750. So it's a good price, and it's gone. I think it's sold already because I tried to look for it again, and it was gone. Anyway, let's cross over and let's take a look at the Shepherd's Market. The site of the Mayfair, it was mainly here, the original fair. So suddenly it looks a bit like villagey, really. Anyway, I told you I would tell you a bit more about Lord Lucan. John Bigham, his name was. He was a big gambler. He was from from society. He had a wife, Lady Lucan, and he used to play a lot at the Claremont Club. He was a friend of the owner. He was also nicknamed Lucky Lucan because he sometimes, well, he had won once quite a fair amount of money, but at that point in the early 70s, he had started to lose quite a lot of money, and he was divorcing his he was estranged his wife, and he wanted to try to keep the custody of the kids, and he had been. This is Jack the Clipper, by the way. We've got to. Oh, we might even have more, but we've got at least one here and one in Spitalfield. So he was on a bad path. He was starting to lose quite a lot of money. He had hired a private detective to prove that he was trying to prove that his wife was insane to keep the custody of the kids, he had told some people at the Claremont that he would be better off killing his wife and dropping her in the Solent, in the sea. But to be fair, we all say that sometimes. It doesn't mean we're threatening anyone. Sometimes, we might say that to friends. Oh, I should, eliminate her. Anyway, one day in 1974, the wife, she had a nanny, Sandra Rivett. Sandra was. Let me tell you a bit more about Sandra, because we often almost glorify the murderers, and we don't really, we kind of forget the victims. Sandra, she was we all say that sometimes. Well, yes, not all, but I mean, I don't say that very often, but it doesn't mean that you have the intention to kill. This is the oldest wine shop in Mayfair, by the way, but it's only 70 years old. I think there's not that many old wine shops. Well, the shop is clearly Georgian. You can see those lovely bow windows, but it wasn't wine before. Now they do Polish and I think they do Mexican as well. I've seen Polish and something else. I was like, oh, that's an interesting combination. Anyway, back to Lord Lucan. So yeah, Sandra Rivett, the nanny, she had an interesting life herself. She had lived in Australia as a kid, then she came back and moved to Croydon. She had troubles herself with depression. Her first boy, Stefan, was born out of wedlock, and she actually wanted to give him for adoption, but her parents did not want to let him go, so the parents adopted the boy. And she did a lot of work she worked as a nanny, but she worked in care home, she worked in an orphanage. So, a lot of the jobs she's done were taking care of people. And she found a job working for Lady Lucan. And they probably had a lot in common, because Lady Lucan, she had sacked 6 nannies before her. So she probably had a strange personality as well. She was not necessarily that easy to get along with. And she was meant to be off on Thursdays. Usually the nanny would go away on Thursdays, but not that week. She actually took the Wednesday off. And that night, Lord Lucan was seen driving in front of the Claremont, but he didn't come in. And then at 9 p.m., the nanny went to see Sandra, Lady Lucan, upstairs to ask if she wanted tea. And then she went down to the basement to, yes, 6 nannies had been fired. Or it might be 5. She might have been the 6th one. So yes, Sandra went down to make some tea when she was brutally attacked. So she went down to the kitchen in the basement, but there was no light. Someone had removed the light bulb, and she was brutally attacked by a lead pipe, like several blows on her head, that killed her. Then the killer put her in a potato bag, you know, those canvas bag. And let's have a little pause in the story because we have a property here. So this is, yeah, poor Sandra. This is the only rental that I've got for you today. So this one is to rent. We're looking for a monthly rent, and it is a 2-bedroom flat. Let me show you the inside. It's quite beautiful. So 2-bedroom to rent. How much would you pay for that one? Monthly rent. Whoa, you guys are good. William, you know what? You're quite spot on. Let me show you. Oh, there's a similar murder in the US. Oh. There you go. 5,525 per month. So there you go. For a 2-bedroom flat, that's the Mayfair prices. And to give you an idea, in that building there was a 2-bedroom for 4,000 as well. Anyway, let's get back to Lady Lucan. So Sandra has just been murdered. She's been put in a potato bag. And then Lady Lucan upstairs, she's starting to wonder why her tea is not coming. So she goes down when someone grabs her and attacks her with the lead pipe as well. And then they fight. She recognizes the voice because he grabs her and he says, "Shut up." And she recognized the husband's voice. Then that's when it gets a bit mysterious. So apparently she grabs him by the balls and he kind of let her go because of the pain. Then there's a gap of about 35-40 minutes then where apparently they spoke. Lady Lucan pretended that she was going to help him escape. At least that's what she said to the police later on. And at some point he went into the bathroom. She ran to the pub where she hid and obviously told the police and everything. Now, after that day, Lord Lucan was never seen again. He had a car from his friend, not his car, but a car. He ran down to see some friends on the way down to the south coast. The friends didn't suspect anything. They didn't put the radio on or anything, so they didn't know. From there, he wrote a couple of letters. He claimed circumstantial evidence against him. He was convinced that Sandra was going to accuse him, and he had to run away. On the envelope, so we don't know where this was posted from. The car was found in New Haven, next to, on the south coast. So some people have speculated that he could have gone to, is the sun falling out? Oh no. Where were we in the story when it cut? Let me know where we were and I can catch back. That's funny, I used to have good connection here. I don't know what's happening. Yours is okay. Let me know where were we in the story. Oh, New Haven. Okay, so we've not missed anything. Good. So they found the car in New Haven, and since that day, he's never been seen anywhere again. it's still a massive mystery. We don't know whether he committed suicide, whether he managed to escape. Maybe some say that he took a private plane from Kent, and he's been spotted all over the globe. They've seen him in, people believe they saw him in Greece as a waiter, in Goa, hiding as a hippie guy. Well, he's probably dead now, because I think he'll be like 88 years old now. Only 10 seconds. Okay, we're good. When did this happen? 74, Nathalie, 1974, if I remember right, in the autumn. Anyway, while we're here, can you guess what this building used to be? You might be able to spot the very typical tiles. What happened to Sandra? She lived for a while, but until 2017, she actually committed suicide at the age of in her 80s, I think she was. But she got estranged from her kids. Exactly, Angie. This is a ghost station. This was Down Street Station on the Piccadilly line. It closed in 1932. I'm sorry, it's a bit dark, so you probably don't see very well. But yeah, it used to be a train station, and it was used through the Second World War as a shelter, a bomb shelter. Apparently, Winston Churchill used it as well. Let's go in. Tish, I wish. Well, actually, you know what? You can go in. The London Transport Museum, apparently they run some tours in there every so often. I've never been able to go, but that's probably quite a cool thing to do. For the role of James Bond. I never knew that. Interesting. Anyway, there's another murderer from Mayfair that also ran away, that is still at large today. It's a very sad story from, I think it was 2008, so much more modern. His name is Farouk Abdullah, a very important man in Yemen. He was a friend of the president at the time. Put somebody in a bag and not realize that it's not your wife, or maybe he did realize then. Maybe he did when he put her in the bag, realized, and then had to, or maybe he did try to kill Sandra as well to kind of, because if he killed only his wife, then it would have looked like it would have looked very dodgy. But if the two of them were killed, then why would they suspect him? Why would he kill an innocent lady? I don't know. The sun is gone again. Oh yeah, because I came back to the same spot. It should be much better now. It looks like there's one particular spot on that street where it cuts for a sec. Let us know if it's better now. It should be, hopefully. Oh no, don't tell me it's not good. All right, I'm gonna try to move quite quickly because I've lost the chat, so oh, that's annoying. I don't know if you can hear me, so I'll wait until I see anything in the chat. Are we back? Is the sound okay now? It's funny, I did not have any issue with signal in Mayfair last time. Oh no. Oh, I see. I think we're back. Are we good? Are we back? Oh, good. I see. I get a lot of messages at the same. Yeah, it's probably the ghost. So you're right. So yeah, I think we're back. So yeah, to get back to the other murderer that ran away, Farouk. I think it's 2008, there was a young girl from Norway. Her name was Martine. Beautiful girl. She was a student at the Regent's business. Met that young man, Farouk. Farouk, I don't know if you've heard or if the sound cut earlier, but Farouk was the son of a billionaire in Yemen, a very important man. He was a friend of the they had met and they were friends, but they were not dating really. And one night she went clubbing with Farouk here in Mayfair. They were photographed together. They seemed like having a good time. It looked like they went to an after party somewhere. And the next morning, Martina is not back. So our flatmates were like, okay, she's probably still with Farouk somewhere, you know. And eventually Farouk posted a Facebook status. It said, home alone. And then he deleted his Facebook account. So then the flatmates were really worried. They called the police, they called the family. And very sadly, they found Martina's body in Farouk's basement. She had been raped and brutally murdered. And Farouk had already jumped on a plane to Yemen. Sadly, we do not have any extradition deal with Yemen. So he's still there in Yemen, living the life. There's actually a BBC journalist lately. She's also from Yemen. She did an amazing. The thing is, there was a little civil war in Yemen in 2015. So the president was taken down, and so he might not be as well protected as he was before. Yes, exactly, Kurt, in the basement, so at the beginning of Marylebone, really. So that's another very sad story. One day he might have to pay for his crimes, you know. He probably would feel better about himself if he paid for his crimes. Anyway, we've got another property here in this one. Let me show you. It is a one-bedroom flat, one bedroom. And let me show you what it looks like. So one bedroom for sale. How much would you pay for this one? Oh, is it cutting again? Oh. It's probably on my side, but I just don't know why, because it's telling me the signal is good. Oh, thank you, Linda. 2.2, 2 millions. Oh, did you miss the end of the last story? I'll tell you again in case there was a cut. You'd use Monopoly money, so I'll show you. It's 1.375. So not as much, but it's a one bedroom, so it's not suitable for a family or anything. Anyway, so someone said they missed the end of the story. Well, sadly, the story has not really ended well, because at the moment Farouk is still free, he's still in Yemen, although he's pretty much confessed to a BBC journalist. At the moment we don't have a way to get him back because there's no extradition treaty with Yemen. So yeah, that's for the taxi there. So that's quite sad. One day he might have to pay for his crimes. Who knows? He's not as well protected in Yemen anymore because of the little civil war that they had in 2015. Anyway, we were talking about, well, Kurt was talking about James Bond earlier. Well, guess what? See the little lamppost in the middle there? That used to be used by the spies, the KGB spies. Apparently, they... oh, I didn't see the sculpture, Tish. Apparently, the Russian spies used to hide little messages in there. This would open, and they used to put little messages in there to communicate, to exchange information, and to tell their colleagues that there was a message to be read. They would do a little mark with chalk, and that's how they knew. The story only came out in 1985 when one of the spies was caught. And what a coincidence. If you look at the building there, number 3, apparently in the 60s they were casting for James Bond in that building. So little did they know that right across the pavement there were some actual spies. Anyway, I'm just gonna cross over the street to show you a last property, last but not least, and then that'll be the end of the tour. So we're talking, I guess I have to explain a bit of what we call the freehold. So here in Mayfair, when you buy a property, and a lot of Westminster, you have a lease, so you don't really buy the ground forever. Usually the ground belongs to the Grosvenor family. 50% of Mayfair belongs to the Grosvenor family anyway. The Grosvenor family, they are the Dukes, the Duke of Westminster, very old noble family dating back to William the Conqueror, really, to Gilbert le Grosvenor. That big hunter, it's old French. Anyway, so if you wanted to marry a billionaire, I highly recommend the Duke of Westminster. Get in there fast though, because he's got a fiancée now. He's gonna get married soon. His fortune is 10 billions. I actually prefer his sister, Lady Edwina. She's amazing. She's she's already married. She's married to Dan Snow, the popular historian. But although she was born in ridiculous wealth and privilege, she kind of dedicated her full career to helping the outcast. She's a criminologist. She's into prison reforms, and she's responsible for. Some of you might have heard of the Clink restaurant. It's a prison restaurant. Well, a restaurant staffed by prisoners. And so that allows them to get a trade in which they can find a job in the future. Some of them have come out of prison and worked in a Michelin star restaurant. So amazing lady. Anyway, so this very building, it's you don't have the freehold, but you have a share of the freehold. I never even knew you could do that. So basically it doesn't fully belong to you, but you get a share of that freehold. And I'm not going to show you the entrance too much because they have a concierge. So there's oh no, not the Clink. The Clink in Southwark. It's a museum. It's a prison museum. No, you've got the Clink in Brixton Prison. There's one of them. I've never been because it's actually quite pricey. And there are some elsewhere outside of London. So they are basically restaurants. They look like normal restaurants, but they are staffed by prisoners. And the real funding rate is very little. I think it's about 80% of no real funding, which is very, very different from the normal average that is usually often like 1 out of 2. I'm gonna cross over so you get a good view of the building. So it's a new build. It is a 3-bedroom flat, but you've got 5 bathrooms. I don't know why you need 5 bathrooms when you have 3 bedrooms, but hey ho. Before you start guessing, so you get a share of the freehold. You have a sauna, a swimming pool, a gym, a pet groomer, and a hairstylist. I'm guessing that's all included with the service charge. And let me show you the photos. And the service charge, by the way, it's 94,000 a year. So you've got a car park as well, which is quite rare in London. And 3-bedroom. So how much would you pay for that lovely flat? Three-bedroom, 5 bathrooms, quite a high service charge per year, and you get a share of the freehold, whatever that means. We don't even know how big is the share. Mike, you're nearly there, a little bit more. Kurt, well, you're quite spot on. 19, that's a bit less, Diane. Dawn, you know what? I think you're spot on. There we go. 14 millions 75. So yeah, that's the prices for a 3-bedroom here. with a sauna. Cool. Anyway, let me show you my face again. And that's gonna be the end of the tour. Thank you very much for coming today, guys. Let me know if you have any questions before we go. And if you want to see a bit more of me, it's on Wednesday. I keep saying it's on Tuesday. It's on Wednesday. We're going back to Guildford. So I've got 2 tours in Guildford on Wednesday evening. Ideal second home, yes, or even a third one. Why not? Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Laurie. Thanks, Tish. Thank you, Sandrine. If anyone left me a little tip on Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal, thank you very much. I don't see them live, but I'll see them as soon as I finish the tour. So make sure you know you are very much appreciated. We completely rely on you to keep on doing those tours. And if any of you did not subscribe to me yet, you might want to give me a subscribe if you want to make sure you don't miss out on the fun next time. Because with YouTube, you're much more likely to see my lives on your feed page if you do subscribe, because it's very easy to miss them otherwise. Thanks, Jenny. I'll get home safe. Tomorrow morning, I'm probably going to regret scheduling it that late, because I have to wake up at 6 again tomorrow. 3 jobs tomorrow. But yeah. Anyway, nice having you along as usual. Have a great evening. Yes, exactly. Lewis Carroll's resting place on Wednesday. And yeah, have a great evening, a good morning, a good lunch, a good afternoon, a good whatever time it is for you. And hopefully, I'll see you on Wednesday. If not, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.